Disillusionment is defined by the Oxford Language Dictionary as a feeling of disappointment resulting from the discovery that something is not as good as one believed it to be. But I think it's also not as good as one wanted it to be and willed it to be. Because sometimes we know on a deeper level that it isn't the way that we want it to be, but we don't want to accept it, and so we're like, really, we don't accept it and we won't look at it. So I'm Lisa, Love and Marriage Guide, and I've experienced disillusionment in my life in many different ways, but it's always been a really powerful lesson for me. Like, really, I think the three things that disillusionment has helped me to learn, I'm going to tell you in a story first, I think. I was disillusioned in the relationship that I wanted to have with my parents and my siblings. I had these ideas of how I wanted them to be, and I kept thinking, even my husband and my own family, like, I had all these ideas of how I wanted things to be. And at some point, I realized that I was just very disappointed because none of it actually happened. Like, you get far enough into your life where you realize, like, all of the things that you wanted did not happen, and these time sections pass. Like, the kids are older. The kids did not hang out together and play together when they were young. We did not have family dinners every night. My parents didn't come visit me, and they didn't come to see my kids. So all these things were disappointments, and I felt very disillusioned. And that feeling of disillusionment kind of feels like your whole ground has been like rocked and you don't know where you stand anymore, because you believed for so long that something was going to be a certain way, or that something was a certain way. And when you discover that it never really was that way and it's never going to be that way, it really shakes your ground. But what I have learned from that, and the three things that I have gotten from disillusionment, and I'm talking about disillusionment because I think we're all experiencing disillusionment in so many different ways, like in global ways, in relationship ways, in individual ways. So I think it's a really important topic right now. But what I got from disillusionment, and my most recent disillusionment, was I had always wanted to go to Costa Rica, and I had glamorized it as this place that we all need to like be more like Costa Rica. And I love Costa Rica, and I'm not down in Costa Rica, but Costa Rica has problems just like every other country. And I was able to see that too. And it was very disillusioning. But what I got from that was I have to be okay with where I am. I don't live there. I live in a place that gets cold in the winter, which I really, really struggle with. I don't like the cold. And I live in a place that goes really fast, and people have to do things constantly, and we're always busy, and we don't slow down, and I don't like that either. So how can I be okay where I am? And how can I like really thrive and be who I want to be where I'm at? So it's just given me direction in that, like it's really accepting where I am. So that's the first lesson. The second thing that I got from disillusionment is setting boundaries from where we're at. So sometimes we don't like where we're at, either with people, like this, for this one, it was people with me. Like once I realized that, there were certain people in my life that were not valuing me. I was making a lot of effort to go to them and have relationships with them, and they were not doing anything to show that they valued me or coming to me or, you know, being with me or my children. And so when I realized that this was happening and this was never going to happen the way that I wanted it to happen, I said, okay, I don't need that. I don't need these people, because there's so many people that really do value me and want to be with me and will put in the time and the effort. And so I said, I don't need to put up with this anymore. Just because I'm related to these people doesn't mean that I need to tolerate this shit. Sorry. But so I set a boundary with them. I said, okay, I don't need you in my life, so I'm not going to make an effort with you. And then I told myself, like, I'm willing to make an effort on the phone. I'm willing to call them, but I'm not willing to do anything else. I'm not going to go to them. And so that felt really good to me. It was very disillusioning, and it rocked my world. It changed and shifted everything, but I had so much more self-respect for myself after, and I didn't let anybody treat me like that. So setting boundaries from where you stand is the second lesson that I learned. Like, being where you are helps you create boundaries so that you can create a better environment for yourself. And the third lesson that I learned is that I am good enough. Everything has like a dark side, if you want to call it that, and a light side or a positive side. Every person, every place, everything. Nothing is perfect the way that we imagine it to be. There is no princess, there is no prince, there's no king, no queen, no leader that's perfect. We all have something to offer, and we all need each other. And I'm also experiencing this in another way, where dealing with something that's really difficult right now, but I'm realizing I'm not the only person dealing with it. I have all kinds of support and people around me, and we all play different roles, and we all need each other. So you are good enough just the way that you are, and you have something very special to offer. And you need other people too for your goal or your project. Most likely you need other people too, but you are perfect just the way that you are, and you have something very special to offer. So that's what I learned from disillusionment.